The cult of Disney is having a meltdown on Twitter, and I'm here for it. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I've dealt with a lot of crazy fan bases during my time on YouTube, and it's to be expected when you are a free-thinking individual like myself. But there's one fan base that has existed in their echo chamber filled with toxic positivity for far too long. So long that they quite literally don't know how to process taking an L. And of course I'm talking about the Disney cult.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!
A group of people who infest social media platforms with their corporate apologist mentality, going to bat and defending a company that is almost single-handedly responsible for the downfall of modern entertainment. Imagine for a second defending a company that has reportedly treated some of their employees like garbage. Imagine defending a company who has made it almost virtually impossible for smaller films to get screen times in theaters.
It's a chump move. We just getting a second opinion, Doc.
Imagine defending a company that is so creatively bankrupt that I don't even remember the last time they made an original product. Imagine defending a company that has actively ridiculed its own fan base, or at least the ones that didn't fall in line and praise everything that they produced.
Me, right?
That's Disney, ladies and gentlemen, in all their glory, the very enemy of creativity. Yet some people will still defend them tooth and nail because they just love their superhero movies too much. Or they just love their soulless nostalgia bait too much. If that doesn't sound like cult-like behavior, then I don't know what does. Disney products have enjoyed the benefit of positive reviews, biased journalism, and big box office numbers for so long that their cult-like followers have gotten comfortable.
S-O-F capital T. Soft. Huh?
You see, in the past, if anyone dare speak out against Disney, you were quickly met with a healthy dose of toxic positivity, the most toxic form of fandom that there is. You were attacked, discredited, labeled, and bullied into thinking the way that they do or else. But it appears that that time has passed, because over the last year or so, reviews for their movies have gotten more honest, articles have gotten less flattering, and yes, even box office returns are starting to diminish.
Jesus Christ, it's about time!
So what you have now is cult members lashing out because they don't know how to deal with this level of diversified opinions. People aren't telling them everything that they want to hear, and I think that scares a lot of them. Like this person who tweeted out a response to an article covering the box office failure of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, saying, quote, "The entire industry online is being ruined by both entitled, man-baby, whiny fans, and endless articles about how much money a film is making or losing. It's grievances, clickbait, and an obsession with the business side of things versus art. We're slowly killing cinema, guys." I haven't heard that level of coping since the last Cancel Joe skit. It's weird to me that people like this never had an issue when media outlets were reporting on Disney projects that were breaking box office records. But as soon as they start reporting on things that you don't agree with, all of a sudden now they're ruining cinema.
You're pathetically predictable.
The only thing ruining cinema is Disney itself and its extreme lack of creativity. But the real problem is people like this who make excuses and blissfully accept every piece of mediocrity that comes their way. Don't believe me? He had the nerve to suggest that Disney and art should be in the same sentence together. Disney is a business and nothing more. We know this. And they typically allow the people who work for them almost zero creative freedom. And this is the hill that you want to stand on. I think we have a contender for dumbest tweet of the year.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Next we have Ron Martz, who said, quote, "I was curious as to why Lucasfilm was trending. Turns out it's mostly because the same dudes who are mad at Star Wars are now mad at Indiana Jones. Petulant anger at things you loved when you were 12 does not seem like a healthy way to go through life. It's also not healthy to take everything that Disney gives you right up your but here we are." This is just another example of deflection and people trying to discredit this movie's critics. If you don't like it, you must be one of those dude bros who doesn't like Star Wars. No, I'm just one of those dude bros who has standards and actually wants the best for the things that I love. And no, I'm not just going to accept the bare minimum just because Star Wars or Indiana Jones or Marvel is in the title.
Ultimately, if you're going to have lasting change in anything, you're really talking about just raising your standards.
Again, how a multi-billion-dollar company like Disney consistently has excuses being made for them like this is mind-boggling to me. Here's an idea: if you want to put all of these criticisms to rest and shut up people like me, then how about just make better movies? Please, for the love of God, prove me wrong. I'm begging for the day that I don't have to sit through another lifeless Disney production.
Help me help you.
And finally, we have Around the Galaxy, who says, quote, "The Indiana Jones film makes me feel very old. Not because of how Harrison has aged, but the xenial grifters who remind me that their lack of life experience makes it near impossible for them to understand the story that growth and loss are hard and not simply fortune and glory."
I'm too old for this shit.
The mental gymnastics being performed by these people who are desperately trying to convince everyone that this is a good movie is almost impressive. First of all, there is a very big difference between someone who is being a grifter and someone who is relaying valid criticism. A grifter is someone who says things just to get a rise out of people and is being negative for the sake of being negative. But people need to learn the difference between being negative and being critical.
That makes sense.
Now, if I'm looking at this movie, and this comment for that matter, critically, I'm noticing a lot of gaps in this logic that people don't have enough life experience to understand why Indiana Jones is so miserable in this movie. I would argue that the people creating this content are the ones who are lacking life experience, because being old and bitter seems to be the only characteristic they can give these legacy characters, because they do it every single time out. We've seen this type of character arc so much that regular people like myself are starting to wonder if they are capable of writing anything else. Trust me, we understand what they are doing, we are just tired of seeing it. Because most time it comes off as lazy and disrespectful to the character it's being applied to. And this isn't something that we made up in our head. We came to this conclusion by watching these movies and taking into account the track record of your Disney overlords. You know, it's easy to dismiss someone like me and just say, well, you don't like anything. A comment that I get almost on a weekly basis, which is simultaneously not true.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
And also the product of people not understanding how film discussion and film criticism works. My job on this channel is to be critical. I'm not here to fill a positivity quota. When I like something, I'll let you know. And it should mean a lot more when I like something coming from someone like me, because I'm not the type of person that just praises everything. And here's the kicker: on the rare occasion that a company like Disney has done something right, I've given them credit for it even though I have a very low overall opinion of them. That is a clear sign in the difference between being negative and being critical. If the cult can't handle that level of honesty, then honestly I really don't give a shit. The way I see it, Disney and these toxic people are getting exactly what they deserve, and that's a healthy dose of reality.
Y'all be cool. Right on.